Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to all the students from Europe Hotel School. I'm your AI guide for this learning journey, and I'm really excited to dive in with you. Today, we're going to tackle something absolutely critical: how you take an empty building and turn it into a living, breathing, fully functional hotel. And it all comes down to mastering the pre-opening procurement of what we call OS&E, operating supplies and equipment.
You know this quote? It just cuts right to the chase. We all think about the grand lobby, the beautiful rooms. But a hotel's success, it can literally come down to the smallest things. I want you to picture this. It's your grand opening, the culmination of months of work. The lobby is packed with excited guests, and you can't check them in. Why? Because you've run out of key cards. It sounds small, but it's a complete disaster. And that is why getting your OS&E planning right isn't just a task, it's the absolute bedrock of five-star service.
Okay, so to make sure that kind of chaos never happens on your watch, we're going to walk through this 5-step playbook together. We'll start with the unseen foundation, then organize the essentials, master the budget, nail down the procurement timeline, and finally, go from plan to perfection. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, the unseen foundation. I love this idea of building your operational engine, because that's exactly what OS&E is. It's all the stuff that's working behind the scenes, empowering your team to deliver amazing service. You know, a guest probably won't notice the brand of your receipt printer, but they will definitely notice when you can't give them a receipt.
So one of the first things you have to get straight in your head is the difference between OS&E and FF&E. It's a huge distinction. As a manager, your world is OS&E. We're talking about the movable, everyday tools, your pens, the key cards, filing cabinets. FF&E, on the other hand, that's the big stuff: furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Think the front desk itself, the chandelier in the lobby. That's usually handled by a whole other project team. And trust me, understanding this dividing line is absolutely critical when it comes to budgeting.
So here's the official definition, but let's boil it down. The two magic words are movable and non-capital. Here's a simple way to think about it. If you can pick it up, and it's not a major, long-term asset that has to go on the company's balance sheet, well, that's OS&E. And that simple rule pretty much defines your entire scope. Everything that fits that description, that's your world. You've got to plan it, budget it, and get it ordered.
Okay, part 2, organizing the essentials. Let's be real. You're looking at a list of hundreds, maybe thousands of items. It's pure logistical chaos. So where do you start? You start by taming that chaos, and you do it by putting everything into categories.
First up, consumables. This is the stuff your hotel is just going to burn through every single day. Stationery, receipt rolls, pens, you name it. But here's a pro tip, a really important one for your budget. You are not just buying for opening day. Think about it. Your team needs supplies for all the pre-opening training, and they'll use more than you think. Plus, you need to have enough stock to cover your first 3, maybe even 6 months of operation. That buffer is your lifeline to a smooth start.
Next up, category 2, durable accessories. I like to call these the workhorses of your department. These are things like your key card encoders, your credit card terminals, and look, they're not just tools. The quality and reliability of this stuff, it directly impacts how efficient your team is and, just as importantly, the professional image you're projecting to every single guest who walks through that door.
Okay, now for guest and concierge materials. This is where your brand stops being an idea and becomes something a guest can actually touch and feel. Seriously, a cheap, flimsy city map can completely undermine a multi-million-dollar luxury brand. Every little detail, the feel of the paper, the quality of the design, it has to be a perfect match for your hotel's positioning. No exceptions.
And last, but definitely not least, we can't forget the back office. Yeah, it's behind the scenes, but how well it runs shows up front and center. Giving your team good, ergonomic equipment and organized systems, that's not just being nice. It's a direct investment in their effectiveness. And a happy, effective team, that's what creates an incredible guest experience.
All right, so we've sorted out the what. Now for the big one, the how much. This is mastering the budget. And let me tell you, this isn't just about counting beans. It's a core skill for any hotel leader today. It's about being a smart, strategic financial manager.
When you're in a pre-opening situation, you have zero history to look back on, right? That's why we use something called zero-based budgeting. It's the gold standard here. It means you start with a totally blank slate, nothing. Every single item, right down to the last paperclip, has to be justified from scratch. Yeah, it's tough, it's rigorous, but it forces you to make sure every single dollar is spent for a very good reason.
Now, for your bigger, more expensive items, those key card encoders, for example,
There's a hard and fast rule. You get a minimum of 3 competitive quotes. You can't just go with the first supplier you find. And this is so important. It's not just about getting the cheapest price. You're comparing quality, you're checking their reliability, and you're looking really closely at their service warranties. That can save you a world of pain later on.
And let's face it, no matter how perfect your plan is, something will go wrong. That's just reality. That's why a 10 to 15% contingency fund is absolutely non-negotiable. It's your safety net. It's for the price increase you didn't see coming, the supply chain delay, or that one thing you just plain forgot. But, and this is a big but, it is not a slush fund. To keep things under tight financial control, getting into that money should always require 2 signatures, yours and the Director of Finance's.
And here we are again, back at that crucial dividing line, the capitalization threshold. All this is a dollar amount that your company's finance department sets. If an item costs less than that amount, it's an operating expense. It's OS&E. If it costs more, it's a capital asset, FF&E. It sounds simple, but getting this right is non-negotiable for the hotel's financial health, its balance sheet, and even its taxes.
Okay, you've got your lists, your budget is approved, now it's go time. This is about executing with precision. And honestly, it's a really delicate balancing act. Order too early, and you've got boxes piling up in what's still a messy construction site, a total nightmare. Order too late, and you're not ready for opening day. It is all about the timing. So, let's walk through this timeline. Look at this. The real deep planning starts a full 9 months before opening. That's way earlier than most people think. Your first big move is at 16 weeks out. That's when you have to order anything with a long lead time, especially custom-branded items. Then, when you get to about 8 weeks out, you pull the trigger on all the standard stuff, the general consumables. See how it's all staged? It's all designed so that on opening day, every single thing is there, it's been counted, and it's in its proper place, ready for service.
And please, remember this. You are not doing this alone. This has to be a critical partnership. Your role, as the front office manager, is to be the operational expert. You know what you need and how many you need to run your department. The procurement manager, they're the purchasing expert. They figure out the when and the where, the logistics of it all. When you two work together seamlessly, that's when the magic happens.
All right, let's bring it all home. We've gone from the plan to, hopefully, perfection. We've defined the foundation, organized everything, mastered the budget, and laid out the timeline. Getting this right is so much more than just an admin task. It's how you make your mark as a true professional.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Disciplined OS&E management is not just about ordering stuff. It is a key pillar of your professional reputation. When you nail this, you are showing everyone that you have solid resource control and, even more importantly, operational foresight. And believe me, those are 2 of the most valuable skills you can possibly have in this industry.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question to really think about. You have the playbook now, so start thinking like a leader. What's the very first operational challenge you would anticipate in your hotel's pre-opening? The moment you start truly thinking through that answer, well, that's the moment you start making the leap from student to manager.